Hey, Brian Maddox here. I just want to tee up a quick intro for our very first guest episode on A Mason's Work. Brother Mike Arce, Right Worshipful Brother, I believe is the technical term for our brother who is going to come in and tell us about an experience that relates to the symbolic world.
Well, hello, I'm Right Worshipful Brother Michael Arce. I am the host of the Craftsman Online podcast and the very reluctant guest host of A Mason's Work podcast. No, I love Brother Brian Maddox. I appreciate our newfound relationship as we affiliate the Mason's Work podcast with Craftsman Online. This has been a beautiful thing coming. And when he reached out and said, hey, you should guest an episode for my podcast, I'm like, dude, I have guests and conversations. I'm not used to picking a topic and just talking about it. But I came up with one after a really cool experience. And it kind of answers a question that my wife asks all the time. Why are guys into playing video games? I'd like to share my own hero's journey with you. I got that new game Arc Raider on my PS5. Oh my gosh. After watching YouTube videos for a day, I thought, okay, I'll get off the wall at $40. Let's get this thing. I love these types of games where you can play as a team or do things solo. It's one of those hunter-gatherer games where it's set in a post-apocalyptic world and there's evil robots that are out there trying to kill you, and you have to go up to the surface and scavenge around for parts to make your base and the things you need to survive better. But then there's this other element that's in the game, and that's the other players. I'm playing this game and I was going until 2 o'clock in the morning. I want to tell you what was so awesome about this. The game pairs you up when you play a squad if you don't have, friends on the game. And I didn't. It was my first time playing with just two anonymous dudes. And we were able to become friends through the evening. But I'll tell you this, I don't know their real names. I barely know where they live because at one point, one of us talked about it getting late. And it's like, oh, well, where do you live? I have no idea what they do for work. I do know that they work because we talked about trying to be a grown adult and playing video games. I don't know what kind of car they drive. I don't know what kind of house they live in. And I don't need to know how much money they make because none of those things really matter. No politics were exchanged. No deep beliefs were shared. And that's what made it so interesting to me. As I started thinking about it the next morning, I was like, I spent more time hanging out with strangers than I did with real friends that week. Maybe some of this has to do with the fact that when you're playing a video game, you enter into a special world. In this instance, the game's success relies on being able to cooperate with other people and the skills that you pick up in playing the game. And you're only going to get better at this game when you play with other people. This is starting to sound a lot like life. And as I started thinking about it, on Saturday morning, it brought me to that inner chamber that we often talk about in Freemasonry, where in this digital video game environment, playing online, that equality that we seek in life that the world tries to offer and often fails, it exists. And in this world, this digital world, we're only judged by our effort and our contributions to the game, just like in Freemasonry. We do introduce each other on a first and last name basis, but when we're in lodge and just brothers, we're builders. I think what also makes the escapism into games like this is the idea that we're able to test our morality, that inner code that we live by, and how that honestly does get tested every day in real life with the personal interactions we have with others. In Arc Raider, there's two enemies, as I mentioned. There's the machines, and then there's the other human players. And you, as the player, you have to decide, hey, am I going to be a friend or an enemy? Your sense of decency gets tested when your squad is just randomly attacked by another squad. And unfortunately, it tends to happen when you've loaded up on a lot of good stuff. And you see these other players taking your things, and you go back to the lobby, and you plot your revenge. I think a lot of us go into relationships seeking kindness, but also expecting that betrayal could be around the corner. We fear that we might also act just as selfishly as other people do. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, at least in all of our degrees, and the lectures and the charges, where the deeper meanings and the lessons are kind of more explained, we touch on all of this, especially when it comes to the idea of being a upright man and Mason, that we're going to be constantly facing choices. There's this gray area that Freemasonry isn't going to answer for you as to how to act in every single situation. No, I call it the Masonic clause. We have to make the decisions. We're given the idea, we're given the lessons, but we're ultimately the player in this game. Gaming, just like Masonry, does provide that opportunity to create some sort of reliance on being able to belong to something. That does combat the daily sting of feeling alone in this world. Now, here's the problem. A digital journey is very finite. It doesn't solve the problem of what's really lacking in real life. Digital gaming relationships are very transactional in that sense. And that's where I feel that Freemasonry offers a much larger aspect of it. Are you going to join a lodge and become best friends with everybody in there? No, but I hope you could. So while I do believe that Freemasonry can be found anywhere, and Freemasonry does exist everywhere, even in video games, the digital quest that we go on when we push power and log in, it really just confirms that hunger that we have, that we're looking to find a sustainable, real connection with somebody else on the other side of that screen. And I feel that if you're listening to this podcast now and you are a brother Mason or wish to become one or someday consider being one, that's why you're here, because you're seeking that same light too. I'm Right Worshipful Brother Michael Arce. Thank you so much, Brian, and to the crew at A Mason's Work for letting me come on and be a guest host. I hope I didn't leave too much of a mess. And I hope to come back sometime soon. And to you, the listener, thank you for listening. I hope these words helped out, and I hope it helps you with your journey, whether it be a hero's journey or a lifelong one.
Thank you so much, Brother Arce, Right Worshipful Brother Arce, for your thoughts and insights. I definitely want to make sure that you visit his website, Craftsman Online, and subscribe to his podcast, and just let them know how much you appreciate, what Brother Arce had to say. If you get a chance as well, and you want to hear more stuff like this, please do let us know. Find us on amasonswork.com. Email me directly, brian@amasonswork.com. Let us know you're looking for more guest hosts, and we will make sure to include that as part of how we operate moving forward. Thanks for listening.